Ain't no way he said CO is up there. There's no way. He puts BT down here and CO. I'm sorry, BT. All you guys down here are worse than CO Summoner. Oh no. This is something I did want to watch with you guys. Vanish tier list. You want to see tier list? Bro, I want to watch Agam's tier list. I want to hear what he has to say.
In this video, I will leave the two balance patch at recent. One is at the March 6th in KR. So I'll skip
Let's
the
just skip to the tier list. Just skip to the tier list. We already know what.
Done after balance patch.
We already know what
I
happened.
make the video. Yes, actually, even if there is the subtitle only for comment, only for famous, and only for Akuna like that. And also recently, I'm become very busy. I don't play Luxury many times like before. So let's put
Damn,
the tier
Agam is
list
becoming a
and Breaker.
casual.
Yes, but after the nerf, also Breaker is the god. Orator also, I think, good. And what is the other character? I think is Sorceress. Sorceress is the become very good after the buff.
True.
And let's do the other character first. And Summoner become the very good, but not stronger than them. That's why I give him A.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Summoner belongs on the same tier. Imagine being S tier after a big nerf. I don't know, man. Part of me just feels like, and maybe it's just me, right? But I feel like because KR doesn't have the data that we do, a lot of what they say ends up being a little bit like, but yeah, are you sure about this? Summer is definitely not on the same tier as Soul Eater, Breaker, or DB. I mean, I don't know, man. The numbers. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like, like technically they might take 3 supposed to be very good for like Surge and these back attackers, right? I mean, if you're telling me like that, I mean, but here's the thing, right? You say that the ceiling is not that high, but I don't think ceiling matters in most raids. Like, if you're gonna say that, you're gonna tell me that Knight's Edge Soul Eater is not broken? Like, I think this class is ridiculously busted. Knight's Edge Soul Eater is absolutely one of the most busted classes in the game. But if you look at its ceiling, it's definitely not as high as some of these other classes. But for me, rather than valuing ceiling, like you could have like technically GT Destroyer has a crazy high ceiling, right? But it just doesn't perform because it doesn't get to do its damage. It doesn't ever get close to its ceiling. So I think for me, what is a ridiculously strong class is one that has a good ceiling, but also is able to reach consistently a very, very high damage number as well. But maybe that's just my take and how I see it. But that's kind of for me what, makes a really strong class. Where are those pumping summoners? You don't see them in my pugs? I mean, I've seen them plenty of times. Maybe I don't see them in my pugs, but I also barely ever pug. But the people that I play with who play summoner, man, they are doing crazy numbers. Literally, I was playing with my friend in a con hard. He was at 1610 with 0 elixirs. I think he was doing 16M at 1610 with 0 elixirs. That is crazy. And again, this is average performance too, right? It's not even talk about like ceiling. Like, I don't know. To me, just like how consistently strong this is. Again, I think we all agree Knight's Edge Soul Eater is one of the most powerful classes in the game right now. Maybe ceiling wise, it doesn't, compare to like Sura Breaker or, what what is it, Surge Blade, but like the fact that this class just pumps consistently is like makes it really, really strong. And if we're gonna say Knight's Edge is one of the most powerful classes in the game, I think Master Summoner might have that as well. Now, I think maybe what it is on Agam's tier list, it's a little bit different because it's Behemoth, and that thing is just like a stationary Trixian dummy. But for the majority of raids in the game, it's not going to be like that. You see Thamite Hard? Yeah. I'd say Thamite Hard Gate 3 is probably the best because the Gate 4 is just way too little data points. I mean, even this is kind of like little, but like Gate 4 just has way too little. Playing Master Summoner though, Disparage, I feel like people generally are saying it's not that bad. To me, S tier is basically broken classes. If you could play without mistakes, you cannot be beaten. I think that's just that's like your definition, and I think a lot of other people have that definition too. But for me, my definition is like a class that can consistently. It's like it's both, right? I think both of it comes into play. I think both of it comes into play in the fact that how consistently you can reach those highs, and also what are those highs. I think both of them do come into play when thinking about the strongest class in the game. But I think that I wouldn't put Summoner in a different tier than these classes because of how consistently strong it is. Maybe those other S tiers might have like, you know, a much higher ceiling, but in terms of actual raid performance, they're all about the same, if not getting beat by Master Summoner. I think that if we make a tier list based off of ceilings, for sure, I think that I agree with the where they put Summoner. But if we make a tier list off of just like overall raid performance, overall performance, I do think that Master Summoner belongs in those places, and then that tier. G3 where ESO, Striker, right here. It's actually not that bad. DB is S tier though, or average rate performance is pretty bad because you need hands. Yeah, and I that's what I mean. Like you can't. I don't think that for me when I make a tier list, right? When I'm thinking about a tier list, I think I don't just think about ceiling, but also I don't think about just average performance because I think that, for example, there are a lot of classes that do some pretty good average performances, but their ceiling is just a little bit too low. Whereas Master Summoner, I think, has really good average performance, but also has pretty dang high ceiling too. It's of course it doesn't compare to Surge and Asura, but I think it makes up for that by being, very consistent. I think just like for me, the way I make my tier list, it's a combination of these different factors is how it comes down to it. Why is EW Deadeye so high up there? I need to know who's cracking and telling them to stop so Deadeye can get a buff. I mean, that's the thing, right? I think that EW Deadeye is not a weak class, but it's just a hard class to play. And a lot of people are just, not really quite performing to where it needs to be. But also in general, I'd say even in normal mode, right? EW is above average here. EW is doing very well in Gate 2. EW is, let's see here, doing very well in Gate 3 too. Like, I think EW is just a very strong class, and it just, you do need hands to play it. It includes item level and elixir. It doesn't include elixir, but it includes item level. But you can click, like, for example, here we go. We can up the item level, right? So we want 1620 to 1629. Then, you get some different numbers here. It's like day and night normal. The numbers are going to be a little different. Again, I think the top classes are going to stay the same, but there's going to be a little bit more variance there. Still, EW, still very strong. EW, quite pumping. Why Shock only good at G3? I mean, I think Shock is just like a slower class, right? It's a slower, more clunky class that attacks a lot of times take a little bit of time to charge up. As a result, classes, bosses like this, they move a lot. So that's what happens. Yeah, Shock's good in boss standing still, exactly. So that's kind of where that comes from. though I am surprised at how good enhanced weapon is, because the class itself also has some really long animations, right? You literally, your main damage deals, your shotgun, it's all like douche, 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 like that, right? It takes a long time for it to come out. I don't know. I still think, in my opinion, Master Summoner just, it's damn hard to beat, man. This class is so good. This class is actually so good. Like even on bosses that move around so much, right? And it's kind of like Igniter too. Like I do think Igniter might be on a higher like it's better than Master Summoner, but yeah, how's Igniter? It's very good. Igniter is very good. It's so good that nobody plays them. Smoge. I mean, I think it's just that a lot of people drop them and have them at lower item level because they've been bad for so long. But I mean, it's not like the lowest numbers either, right? 118 is not insignificant. Like, it's not like firepower or time to hunt or like, even PS shock training. Like, there's less of these classes than Master Summoner. There's clearly a decent amount of players, but it's just not like the most popular class. In G1 Thermite, Master Summoner is god tier because they have continuous push immunity when casting Identity. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if it's god tier per se, but I think it does help a lot. I think Master Summoner, it still suffers from like long animations, like being animation like locked and just like very slow and no mobility. Ancient Spear and Swallow. Also, yeah, Ancient Spear is such a clunky skill still. And it is a very clunky skill. It is. Like, I do think that Master Summoner is one of the strongest classes in the game. I mean, again, I don't. Maybe in terms of ceiling, it might not match. And even in terms of ceiling, I don't know. Does Master Summoner really weaker than FMH? Let's take a look at this, right? Let's go to Sorted by Max, and we will see how this performs in Theamine. So FMH, I mean, it's a little bit weaker, right? Here, Master Summoner, it's a higher ceiling than FMH. Where the fuck is FMH? This is not FMH. Actually, sorry, I pushed the number too much. Sorry, this is hard. Never mind. Okay, so Master Summoner, I mean, the ceiling on this is kind of damn high. It's even higher than Sura. FMH right here. Where's Master Summoner? It's down here, so quite a bit lower than FMH on this one. FMH is here. Master Summoner is up here. And again, Theamine Gate 3 is pretty stationary, so I feel like this is a more accurate representation of ceiling. Wow, what the fuck? Taijutsu all the way fucking here? That is crazy. Theamine normal, right? And then let's push it up to 1620. I like 1620 numbers better. So Master Summoner right below FMH. FMH is higher here. Master Summoner is kind of low on this one. Master Summoner is pretty damn high on this one. Like, I'm saying, though, I think in terms of ceiling, I think Master Summoner might be higher than FMH. And again, if we're talking about the ceiling argument as well, what the fuck? What is EW doing up here on the ceiling? What the... Guys, EW secret OP? Secret OP class? EW? EW Deadeye Puppers? That's Ubisoft, get on it. Talk to Daddy Roo. Yeah. I mean, I don't think EW is weak. I think it's a strong class. But I just didn't expect the ceiling for that to be that high on Theamine. That's insane. It's a little bit lower for like the hard modes, but it's still not a bad ceiling. You know, Miso rerolled the Pistolier. No, I have my character's EW right now. I swapped to EW. I went from Pistolier to EW. Igniter performing well on everything though. Yeah, no, Igniter is insane. Igniter is insane. Hope it doesn't get nerfed. I don't know. It might, honestly. Because the thing is, the class itself, right? It used to be very clunky, and that's why like they couldn't do damage on it, because like the double Doomsday was so hard to land, so they kept buffing the damage. But like the damage wasn't the problem; it was the double Doomsday. So they made it so that the double Doomsday was so much easier to land now, and they kept the damage buffs from the previous patches. So now it's just like an insane class. I don't know. I do think that Master Summoner is. I think it deserves to be in this tier. And also, where the fuck is Brawl King? If we're talking about ceiling for that shit, Brawl King is like fucking average ass fucking class. Actually, this one's pretty damn high. This is yeah, this one's pretty damn high. It's pretty damn high. But the thing is, these are like mobile bosses, right? Wait, so Brawl King is right here. Brawl King is right here. Brawl King is like somewhere down here. It's average. Um, when the boss is stationary. How's hard mode Brawl King? Brawl King, pretty decent. Brawl King, all right. Brawl King, again, like I don't know. I think this class is strong, but I don't know if it belongs in the same tier as the other ones. I just don't know if it belongs in the same tier. I'm be real. Like maybe we instead of putting Master Summoner in A, you put Brawl King down at A and Master Summoner up here. I think that makes more sense. I'll be real. Okay, he was running Sork in Hellcon the first time today. He was top DPS with 30% crit. That's insane. I think they changed more for Arcanus is same that they don't even touch her damage, and now she's way better. Yeah, I mean quality of life was a lot of what these classes needed. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. We'll keep going.
And Summoner became A, and Burst also good, S tier. Oh, S tier. And I will divide Gunlaser just here. And Barrier Terrorist is A tier in my thinking, but weaker than this Summoner, but still A tier. And Scrapper also good. Arcana is also good. If I thinking the selling player, so top 10% player, Arcana can go to the S tier, but when thinking the down tiers, it is hard to go S, so let's put here. And my static group have the demonic, but he said now this class engraving is stronger than this swiftness class engraving. But I still think that demonic is not that high tier in me. Also, FP got the buff, but still not high tier. And Aeromancer, after the buff, Aeromancer become the high tier in my thinking and also strong, even if it's the low tier. When other do the dev. And Glaivier thing, I just think it is hard to do. But
There's no way he puts an A tier. Wow, he puts Glaivier in A tier? That's insane. I mean, I like Glaivier. I'm on that Glaivier train. I love the class, but I don't think that shit's A tier. Shock and A Nani? Glaivier is good, but feels ass. I mean, exactly. Pinnacle is still pumped, but I don't know if it's A tier. I'd put it down in like maybe the top of B tier or something like that. Exactly. You can't put Pinnacle in the same tier as Master Summoner or Barrage. Like, I don't know, man. It's so... And maybe this is why KR stopped making tier lists. Because, like, you've noticed this. I don't know if you guys noticed this. But the last time ATK or anybody in KR, like the bigger KR creators, right? The last time they made a tier list was, like, Voldis. That was, like, the last time anybody made a tier list. Other than Agam, I think. Everybody else, you know, yeah. I'm making Master Summoner my main. Yeah, drop that Striker class. That class sucks. You people can only agree upon a handful of classes and the outliers at S. I agree. I agree with that. Usually people don't agree that. I mean, they kind of do. Because I made that tier list that, like, combined. Like, I made that ultimate tier list a while back, right? And there was actually quite a bit of consensus there. Maybe they didn't agree like where exactly they sit in each tier, but they did agree overall, I'd say most classes. I made Match Summoner's joke because people were saying Shader the Gunslinger, but it's actually so strong compared to my Gunslinger. Well, I think that was before the changes, right? I think you made your Master Summoner after the changes, and after the changes, the class went to the fucking moon. You made it before the changes? It was still so strong. I mean, the thing is, it was strong beforehand. Like, they didn't buff the damage in any way. The only thing they changed was that how easy it was to play and how less clunky it was. So it was always strong.
Yes, DPS is a little low, but have so good utility in my thinking. And after the buff, Scouter, Machinist, I think it is to divide B and C. I want to delete B and C and make combined it. And Leaper is good. Yeah, Leaper is good. Both of Leaper is good. Destroy is When thinking top 10% or top 20%, it will go A, but thinking 100%, it will go B. But
What's in the middle of D tier? It's combat readiness. Gun Lancer. Didn't RGL get insane buff? It did, but I mean, it's still not going to out DPS any other DPSs probably. Last was that FE is pretty strong now. Oh, I'd agree. Yes, I think even in comparison to old FE though, probably.
let's thinking 25%, not 10 or 100.
I mean, I think that FP doesn't belong in D tier though. I'm be real, especially where he puts it in D tier too, below the Gun Lancers. I don't agree with this. I think FP is probably up here. Bottom of B tier is probably where I'd put it at.
Correct. And Gunslinger, after the buff, Gunslinger become good in my thinking. And this class engraving in there, I don't see it yet after the balance patch, but because Gunslinger gets the all damage buff of Lifer and Shotgun and pistol, maybe similar with C because this damage increment is lower than Peacemaker. And this Solitaire, it is good at Famous and Kamen, but not that good at Echidna, so let's give it A. If there is no Echidna, I will give it to the S also. But because there is A.
I don't know. Unfortunately, like his reasoning is saying that it's because it's Echidna, and I just don't know. Maybe it will be the case. We'll just have to wait until Echidna comes out.
Echidna. The master will be here. And both of service is very good. Labier, bad. This is also bad, and maybe Striker is here. And Machinist will be hard to divide. Maybe.
Did he really put Emperor there? Did he really put Emperor there? I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, Agam. I don't know about that one. Oh my god. Let's go back to this list, right? Let's go back. Let's take a look. It's really low down here though, but still, death flows right here, way below that shit. This is I don't know about that one. Emperor's pretty mid now. I mean, it might be mid, but it's definitely not striker tier. That's for sure. I mean, this is kind of low. It can perform. It definitely can perform, but it just has a huge variance, I think. So he says nobody likes Emperor and KR compared to Empress. Emperor is too many conditioning compared to Empress. Beam Blow. Emperor is a really fun class though. Emperor used a Hell player class. It did. Emperor's weak need another buff. Mid but plays the Bills. I mean, it is a mid class, but again, I do think that it is definitely stronger than Striker. There's no fucking way. Holy GT, that's why I got nerfed. Where the fuck's Rage Hammer? Rage Hammer's down here. I mean, GT's right here, bro. GT ain't doing that much better. There's some gates where it's okay, right? Like this one is a little bit better, but still Garbo. But gate 1, GT actually kind of pumps. But I think it's because it has so much knockup immunity that it just doesn't care about a lot of shit. So yeah. First intention that low? I guess. I don't know. That's crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure first intention does pump. Like, the thing is, like, maybe the first intention ceiling just isn't that high. I mean, yeah, first intention is kind of like underperforming. It really is. I was in hard mode. Above average here. Above average here. A little below average. Maybe the people in normal just don't have hands. Because first intention is like a class that is a little bit spammy, right? And it does have a decent like rotational requirement. Auto investment, maybe. Like these are the people who have invested in it as a main, right? Like a full in main. Sorry. But yeah, so maybe that's it. ESO's way better for Word Answer. No, I agree. I think ESO is a better class than First Intention. I do think so. Is your buff Punisher? I mean, they did slightly-ish, slightly, very slightly.
Here. Uh, it's very hard to
Is AT
let's
really
divide it
that
here.
low now?
And after the nerf of Destroyer, but in my thinking, except the Famous, this gravity is not that high tier. I know that gravity Destroyer is S tier in Famous, but still B to A in Kamen and Echidna, and especially B in Echidna. But it also got the nerf, so I think it is the B, except Famous. In Famous, he's king.
I do agree with that. Again, I think that the class it pumps in Behemoth, but who the fuck cares about Behemoth? Nobody cares. Like even the Koreans are like, I don't care about how well my class does in Behemoth because that's not an actual raid. That's just Trixian.
Deminator is good and got the buff, but I don't see it yet. But I think either 80.
I think it's A tier. It's easy A tier.
Oh, Rodancer, Ghost of Rodancer are very good. There is Rodancer. This is maybe S.
I agree with that.
Berserker got the buff, but still I think B and C. And Summoner after the then
Like I don't know. You can't put ESO in S tier and have this in A tier. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. This is definitely weaker than this. But I do think that this is an A to S tier class for sure. ESO War Dancer. Igniter B, no. Igniter's S in this. EW easy A, I agree. EW is definitely an A tier. Crazy that Emperor is in the same tier as Brain Dead Mayhem, Berserker, and Wind Fury Arrow. I do think Emperor's probably belongs like maybe like here around the Soul Fists. Now considered B tier, what lies is he spouting? I mean, I don't know. I don't play enough Gunslinger to know. Should be top of A tier. Predator C. We'll see. TS is probably high B. Low Knight should be S tier. I mean, in terms of damage, it's not going to be S tier. This is a damage tier list. Purely damage tier list.
March Brandon's patch Summoner become also good. And
Huh? Okay, Agam. Okay, Agam. Okay, buddy. Ain't no way he said CO is up there. There's no fucking way. He puts BT down here and CO. I'm sorry, BT. All you guys down here are worse than CO Summoner. Oh no. I think there's a problem with KR. They don't have a good grasp of the middle ground. I mean, they just don't have the data, which makes it hard. It makes it really hard if they don't have the data. But I don't even think this is a middle ground thing. This is a bottom thing. This is a floor, like on the ground thing. Person playing Swift CO3 Master Summoner 3, and he was pumping hard as fuck. Well, I mean, that's because he has Master Summoner 3. He was probably pumping because of the Master Summoner 3.
Deathblade, both of Ingress Minis are good. And Sorceress maybe now after the buff will be B2C, but
I mean,
my friends said this Reflux become better, but I didn't see the good Reflux in here. Because our main Sorceress playing the Igniter, so what I mean,
that is
saw
true.
Reflux is
So it's
just
hard to see the
subcharacters.
reflex.
And they don't show me good data. But many people said it is good, but because it is my personal tier list, I will give it C.
I mean, I want to consult the data again. And this is so amazing. Like, we used to not be able to do this. Now that we have this, it's like we can actually just go see, like, how is this class performing, right? So Reflux is above average here. Reflux is, where is it? Below average here. And this is hard, right? This is hard. Reflux is above average here. It's not that bad. How's Reflux here? Pretty dang strong here. This is 1620 plus. Reflux above average. Reflux pretty dang good. I mean, again, based off of this, he might be thinking about like other like Behemoth and stuff, but I still think that it doesn't belong in C. I think it belongs in like low A, if anything. High B, low A. Yeah, it is performing well. But it is I'd say it's a harder class to play than Igniter. I think he's mostly talk about it as a kid experience. He talks about Theamine too, is the thing. But I do agree that there is some stuff in here that we don't know off of like Behemoth and Echidna performance. But I don't think that off of like, what should I call it? Off of like just principle, or not principle, but just like off of like thinking through it, right? And what makes sense. I don't think that this belongs here regardless, even if we're talking about Echidna. I don't think it's if we're looking at these numbers, I don't think there's a way that Reflux does that much less in Echidna compared to Theamine. But let's see what the ceilings are for Reflux. I mean, the ceiling for Reflux is fairly low, right? If we're looking at this. So there is a world where Reflux just does kind of suffer because Echidna can be a little bit of a Trixian dummy, but I don't know. So like, where's Reflux here when we talk about max, right? Reflux is above average here. Reflux is quite above average here. And Reflux is below average Theamine Gate 3. Reflux is about average Theamine Gate 1. Reflux is a little bit above average in Gate 2, and Reflux is also above average Gate 3. So again, I think that with that, I would infer that Reflux is somewhere in this zone. Low A tier, high B tier. Some of these parts have Astro users. Yeah, they do. But that's kind of like where the range comes from, right? That's where the range comes from. And like the medians are kind of like right in the middle, or right in the middle. And like some of them are probably like outliers too, which don't get calculated in the median formula, from what I can tell.
This layer, maybe, okay. Because it is top 25%, I will give it to the A. And because of Echidna, I will give it top of B or end of A. Let's give top of B, yes. Because of Echidna. If it is famous and common, it will go to the A, almost top of A. I think it is like that. So this is my personal thinking of tier list. Thinking the 3 end contents in KR. But in near, now Teal is very good in low start, except some little character like Suris and Rodancer because of not highest damage. Because Rodancer don't have the very big damage but have good utility and safety of lowest damage per case. Suris are very easy and very strong, but he don't.
So basically, he's saying that ISO, he likes it because it's not that it has the highest ceiling, but it's very consistent. Has a very nice high floor. Which again, my thing about Master Summoner seems to have a pretty dang good average performance too.
Don't have any ability except damage, stagger or movement like that. So I think nowadays low start balance tier is not that bad, but it will be broken after the third awakening patch, so maybe we should wait for the third awakening patch. And in here, A can win the S if S make the mistake, and B also can win the A, and C also can win the B, and C also can win the A. But C win the S, it will be impossible. So I think SAD can be fight, and ABC can be fight, like that. But D is trash in here. Thank you very much.
That's Agam's video. If you guys want to watch it, here it is. He makes good videos. I like his videos.